Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Scott. Do me a favor, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, share, all of those things. We're really trying to build the channel, so thank you so much for your support. With that being said, let's maybe discuss today the perfect trifecta of whiskey in today's market. And I think what you see here is going to be the epitome of great value for great whiskey. So let's talk about that today on the My Bourbon Journey Whiskey Review channel. So as I had mentioned in terms of the perfect trifecta of whiskey or a whiskey brand in terms of what it is they're offering, I think this may be it that you're seeing right here in front of you. What it is that Green River Distilling Company out of Owensboro, Kentucky is doing has nailed, I think in my opinion, the perfect combination of ages to value. We're talking about three whiskeys that are ranging in ages from that 4 to 6 year old range. Pretty nice ages on their whiskeys, and price wise anywhere from about $27 upwards of maybe $35 tops for each one of these. Now, they kind of started out going back maybe 2 or 3 years ago with the release of just their standard rye-based bourbon, which is a mash bill of 70% corn, 21% rye, 9% malted barley. Then not that long after, they released their wheated bourbon, which utilizes a similar mash bill, but of 70% corn, 21% wheat, 9% malted barley. So they're utilizing the same percentages of grain, just swapping out the rye for the wheat to make one, obviously, their rye-based bourbon and one their wheated bourbon. Now, in my opinion, with those ages and that price range of, let's just call it $30, I think it's a refreshing place to be in the whiskey market these days, is that these are bourbons that you can not only sip on and thoroughly enjoy, but could also use because of the flavor profile and their proofs. You could definitely use these as cocktail type whiskeys. Now, that was one of the reasons they introduced their rye whiskey, which they utilize a mash bill of 95% rye, 5% malted barley. So again, this is their own distillate. None of this is being sourced. This is all being produced by Green River Distilling Company. So in my mind, a bourbon or rye or whatever it may be, that's in or at that $30 or $35 price point, and you're still getting a lot of great flavors. To me, that kind of equates to a really nice value whiskey. I think that's a price point that puts a lot of people into a particular category of it at least being a whiskey that is relatively affordable and isn't going to be something that breaks the bank, all while still offering some versatility. Again, from a sipping standpoint, which I love to just sip on these whiskeys, even including the rye whiskey. It's kind of why I've labeled this as the perfect whiskey trifecta. And there also being another kind of factor to this would be from like my standpoint or anybody who is purchasing these, this gives you a really nice idea of what some different profiles can be, from, again, the rye-based bourbon to a wheated all the way up to a rye. So lining all of these up to kind of give you a really nice idea of what these profiles may be. This has become, I think, again, like I mentioned before, that perfect whiskey trifecta to give you a really good baseline for, you know, what it is that you are enjoying about each kind of either bourbon or rye in this case. And on another note, I think this makes for, if there are people who are looking for like a whiskey gift to give to someone, this again, like I had just touched on, being able to introduce somebody to different mash bills and all from the same distillery, this would make a really nice gift to provide to somebody to, again, maybe get them into bourbons and ryes, give them a really good idea, again, without breaking the bank price-wise. And this will allow them to really be introduced to three different profiles, all of which, again, I had mentioned before, something that I truly, truly enjoy. And that's why I really think what it is that Green River has done is really provided from one distillery that kind of perfect whiskey trifecta. As I had mentioned, I think it has a lot to do with, again, the value anywhere from, again, that $27 to maybe $35, and getting the opportunity to try 3 different whiskeys. Again, their rye-based bourbon, their wheated bourbon, and now their newly released 95.5 rye whiskey. So if this is a brand that you are somewhat unfamiliar with, I'd say seek them out. Generally speaking, the distribution and availability of these has become greater. So there's a good chance that you're going to be able to go into your local liquor store or wherever it is that you buy your spirits and find, if not one, more than likely all 3, maybe 2 of them, something along those lines. I think this gives the whiskey consumer a great way to be introduced to 3 different mash bills, all from the same distillery. And what it is, again, that they're doing from a price standpoint, all the way up to the ages that they've got on these, the overall availability. I think Green River here in 2024 is doing absolutely amazing things and have really listened to what the consumer has wanted and is kind of in need of these days. So that is why, again, I'm going to stick with the perfect whiskey trifecta as the theme of this video, because, again, I think what it is that Green River has done, they have absolutely nailed each and every one of these releases. With that being said, I would love to hear your thoughts. What are your overall feelings on Green River? Do you think it's a great value? Are you okay with their ages from anywhere from 4 to 6 years? Again, that mash bill that they're able to introduce, both rye-based, wheated, and now their 95.5 rye whiskey. To me, I think it just makes for the perfect whiskey trifecta. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. If you'd like to follow me, you can on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of those places at My Bourbon Journey. If you'd like to help support the channel and become part of the Mash and Journey Whiskey Club, make sure you check out the Patreon link in the description below. Again, thank you guys so much, and remember, it's about the journey and not the destination. Cheers.